everyone. In my previous video, I have shown you how to create an interactive assignment using Microsoft PowerPoint, but I also said that I would show you how to add those assignments within Teams. This could be for PowerPoint, but it could also be for really anything else that you've created as an assignment. So I kind of want to show you what that looked like. When you go to your class, you'll see a general tab, and then at the top you'll see like assignments, grades, files. The assignments is where you're going to actually assign things to your students. If you go into grades, I don't have any students in here right now, so you're not going to be able to actually see what it looks like. I apologize. But at the top is going to be listed every single thing you've assigned to them. And on the left-hand side is going to be the students' names. So you'll be able to, like, if you want to go back and see Unit 1's reading test, their spelling test, you'll go back and you'll find at the top where Unit 1 reading test is, and you can go and see each of the students' work that they did on that spelling test and how they did, along with if you added a grade, what grade they got. You'll be able to see absolutely everything that you've added into assignments and the work that they've completed. So that's where this is going to be located. Just like if you use Class Notebook, which Class Notebook's here, you can, whenever you assign notebook pages within Class Notebook, it'll be sorted within their own individual section in the notebook, and you'll be able to go back to the notebook and see that. But you can also assign a notebook page through assignments and see it in grades, so the students never have to go into Class Notebook. But again, like I said in the previous video, I just find that PowerPoint's a lot more user-friendly. You can move around the pieces a little easier. It's not so finicky. Class Notebook reminds me a lot of Word and how you move things around and images around in Word. So again, I just find PowerPoint so much easier to create things in. So again, that's user preference. But I'm going to go to assignments, and I want to assign that activity that we created in the previous video. So I'm going to go to create. If you click on quiz, that's if you want to create a Microsoft form. So you can create a Microsoft form quiz and add that here. You can upload from or create from an existing assignment, which I've never really used this, so I don't really know exactly how that works. But I'm going to add a new assignment. And it's going to start at the top. I always make sure that to check every single one of these before I send this to the students, because once you send it, it's sent. So I'm going to enter title. So I'm going to label this one as math. I think this was like Unit 2 for Terra West. I'm not sure. Math Unit 2 homework. Or I could say Math Unit 2 numbers 2-5 activity. Because in the categories is where you can add specifics. So I could add that this is homework, and it's going to list this as homework. And anytime I want to filter any of my assignments and I want to see all of the homework, or I want to see all of the assessments, I can see that through this tab. The students will also see that this is homework with the tab. You can change this, so if you want to organize it by like reading or math, you could have your tag as a reading assignment or a math assignment. You could have it tagged as, a reading Unit 1 assignment. And then when you add Unit 2, you say reading Unit 2. So just a little easier way to filter your assignments. You could give instructions, but truthfully, I have found that I just add the audio instructions to my actual activity. Makes it a little easier for me. But here you could also say like activity 1 and another assignment, or assignment 1, another one you can do assignment 2. So that way maybe they do their assignments in order that you've assigned it. You can also do that within the title. So you could put 1 and they know that they need to complete this first that day. So if you're assigning things like 5 different things for math that day, then they know they do this one first, and this one, then this one, then this one. So you just kind of have to mess around with it to figure out what works best for you when it comes to actually labeling. But when you go to add resource, I'm going to click here. And the important thing to note, I just learned this. I was having a lot of trouble with my videos and audio. But in order for the videos and the audio to work, you have to save that PowerPoint within your OneDrive. If you don't save it within your OneDrive, the videos and the audio do not work. So like a lot of times I could upload from this device, which is fine unless you have an audio or a video attached to that resource. If you do, you need to make sure it's saved under your OneDrive, and then you can upload it and students will be able to click on the audio and video. If you upload from your device, they will not be able to click on it. So I already saved that activity in my OneDrive. So again, for those of you who didn't see, this was my activity. It had a worksheet that was embedded, and I showed you how to embed that in the, I think it's number 6 video. The text is embedded. There's an audio that they can click on. They can click on the video and watch it. And they also have movable pieces that they can move to the ice cream. And then I also showed you the drawing of how they can write on top of this worksheet. So I saved that to my OneDrive already. I saved it as math page 2.7, and I'm going to click attach. Now it's going to upload for a minute, and that'll be there for their assignments. You can choose whether or not you want this to be given as points. I don't, I'm not going to create this as a graded assignment. It's just like homework, just kind of work for them. You can add a rubric as well. So you can make a rubric and add that here. You can pick which class to assign this to. So if you have several teams, like I have quite a few teams, but they're all hidden, so you're not going to be able to see them. But I have several teams, and if I wanted this to go to like my morning class, I would click on it. More afternoon class, I click. So you can type assign to whichever classes that you want to assign to. You can also pick and choose your students. I don't have any students in this group, but you can have it go to all students, or you can have it go to individual students. So if you only want a certain student to have an activity, you can, or you can assign this as to, let's say 10 of your 15 students, and then assign it, and then you can go back and create a new assignment with the same thing, but just differentiate by, let's change the work, let's take off the cones. They don't do the cones on this activity. Maybe you have a student with an IEP that needs less work or chunked work, so you can modify this and just assign it to those 5 students. Anyways, just as an example. Then you need to click a date due. This is the date it needs to be done and returned back to you by, and a time due. So what time is that due on that date? I've been testing it out, so the students will actually see if it's late or not, and then you can choose whether or not you want to take points away or if you want to accept it late. But they can still edit it after it's after the due date, and they can turn it back to you. A really, really, really important thing to note is if you want each student to have their own copy and you want each student to edit their own copy, you need to change this. Right now, so students can't edit. So right now, all the students are going to be able to see is just that PowerPoint, but it won't be editable. They won't be able to click the audio or the video. They won't be able to draw on it. They won't be able to move the ice cream. You need to change that. So anytime you make an assignment and you want students to have their own copy to edit, you need to click these 3 dots, and then you need to click on students edit their own copy. Students edit their own copy, okay? So you click on that. You also have some other options down here, and you can click on those other options, but right now, students edit their own copy. And then you can choose if you want the notifications added to the channel. You can edit that if you don't want it to be notified within the channel. But after you're done, all you have to do is hit assign. And so now you have this, and it's been assigned. And as students complete it, you'll be able to see, like, if you have 24 students. Oh, I see. I had it mentioned. If you have 24 students, it'll say how many out of how many students have it completed. And then you can click on each of their individual each of their activities, and you can grade them. And then once you've checked over them, there's going to be a return button, and you return it back to students so they can see any of your feedback that you've given to them on their work. And it'll appear up within your grades that it has been returned. And if they have a grade, it'll show the grade. If there's no grade, it'll at least show that the assignment, and it'll show the completed PowerPoint for you to actually go back later and see what they did if you need to go back and reference it later. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions here about assignments, again, don't hesitate to contact me. But definitely, like I said in my first video, create a practice team. Practice this yourself. Try to assign some things. You can add some of your colleagues, or if you have test students, you can assign them, and then kind of work together. That's the best advice I could give. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you.